Muscadine grapes are native to the southeast and the heart of the operation at Cartersville Country Winery. I'm speaking with Carlos Norton, the wine master at the vineyard. Carlos, thanks for having us out today to learn more about the process.
Yes, glad to have you. It's definitely a work in progress.
Now, as I understand it, there's quite a long history here.
We started 12 years ago. Tom, which is like my adopted dad, calls me and says, I want to grow grapes and make wine. And there was nothing here, and we started off hand planting the first acre, and now we have 18.
That is incredible. Quite a growth over time.
Yes.
Now the process, obviously if you're producing wine, we're starting with muscadine grapes.
Correct.
And we grow the grapes and then harvest. What is that process like?
It takes 4 years to produce an acre of grapes, to produce grapes.
4 years.
4
So
years.
there's a lot of investment right there at the beginning.
Yes. And we started growing a grape variety of Carlos grape.
Mm-hmm.
And then we expanded from a Carlos to a Summit and a Nobles, which is a red grape.
So you grow 3 varieties now.
3 varieties of grapes. Over the years, we used to hand pick.
Mm-hmm.
Now we actually have a harvester, which is a 1972 Chisholm Rider harvester. As you've seen today, he can go down a row in about 4 minutes. We have several employees working there that are helpers.
That harvesting process is phenomenal. It's something I had never seen before, but it appears to me that the harvester is shaking, and that's what releases the grapes?
Correct, yes. It has fingers on the inside that actually shakes the grapes. And the ones that's ready to come off will come off, and then they conveyor up to the top, which then goes to the side tractor that actually carries the bins.
So people are working together to make sure that
Yes.
this whole thing comes together and the grapes
Correct.
end up where they need to go.
Correct.
Now, after we're finished harvesting, what's the next step in the process?
They'll transport the grapes from the field to the winery, and I will dump them into a big auger.
Mm-hmm.
The auger actually goes from the auger to the crusher.
After the grapes are crushed, what happens next?
It is, once they go from the crusher, they'll go from the crusher to the press. Then the press will actually press all the juice from the pulp, the hulls, everything we can get juice from.
Mm-hmm.
And once we go from there, it'll go into a fermentation tank.
Okay, so there's a lot of waste that's removed during that pressing process?
Yes.
And what do you do with all of that?
It goes to like my chicken farmers to feed the chickens, just whatever it takes to help, so it don't all go to waste.
Great, and then you've got that nice clean juice.
Mm-hmm.
Now take us along, what's the next step?
All right, it goes from the press to a fermentation tank. It'll stay in my fermentation tank for 7 days for the primary fermentation, and then we'll rack it, which is moving the juice, the cleaner juice, to smaller containers. Mm-hmm. And then they'll stay for 30 days or so, and then they'll be stabilized into wine.
Now once it's stabilized, can it sit indefinitely?
Not indefinitely, but it can sit for years. Once it's there. Once we go from where it's just sitting and we get ready to make a wine or bottle of wine, we'll put it in a cold stabilization for like 2 weeks, and it really chills the wine and makes all the sediment go to the bottom. And once it goes to the bottom, we'll filter it.
Okay.
From the filter process, it goes straight into a tank ready for bottling.
And bottling, that's really the final step.
Yes.
How does that work? It seems a little complicated.
We have 2 machines. We have a manual 6-bottle filler, and we have a automatic 2-bottle filler. Mm-hmm. And it's just a process of filling the bottles and capping. We use a screw type cap, mm-hmm. just pressed on by air, and then an automatic labeler.
Right.
And then it goes from...
So we fill it, we cap it, we label it,
and then it's ready for stores.
That is incredible. But a lot of that is a very manual process.
Yes, correct.
So once it's bottled, someone is hand putting that, packing it into cases.
Yes.
And then putting those on a pallet.
Yes, taping it up, putting it on a pallet, ready for the wine deliveries to go out.
All right. So where does the wine get delivered?
all over South Carolina.
That's fantastic.
Yes, all over South Carolina.
I am just blown away, especially that I just recently discovered that you've been here, and you've been here for a number of
Yes.
years. Now you make a few different varieties, some reds, some whites, and then some fruit wines.
Correct. Our wine started off with our whites. Our Moonlight Imagination is our first wine that ever come out, which is a sweet muscadine. It's used from our Carlos grape. Our reds are Lynch's River Red. It's made from a Nobles grape, which is also a sweet. We have drier wines and some sweeter wines, but muscadines are naturally sweet.
That's quite a variety. Now, muscadines wines are naturally sweet, but you can control the sweetness by how much sugar is added?
Yes. Well, once you go through the fermentation process of adding yeast to sugar, the yeast burns all the sugar, which turns it into alcohol. So then you have a dry wine. So you back sweeten with the sugar to make the grape taste fluffy. Add a little bit more sugar to make it sweeter, a little less sugar to make it drier. That's how we come up with our Moonlight Imaginations, our two whites and our two reds. Our fruit wines, instead of using sugar to back sweeten, I use a concentrate, which is a fruity concentrate. I already have the wine. I'm just changing the flavor of the wine itself, and it works.
So all of the fruit wines essentially have the same base, and then you
Correct.
just change the flavor palette based on whatever.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Fascinating. Not only is this an operating winery, but the property has more to offer.
Yes, we have weddings out here. We have a wedding venue. We have a building for smaller parties. We have overnight accommodations, Airbnb. So we have people just come out and want to walk through the grapes.
I can understand why.
So-
It's very peaceful out here.
Yes, very peaceful.
Maybe not during harvesting
Not during
time.
harvest,
You know,
yes.
you got a little bit dirty already
Yes,
this
yes,
morning
I've
just in
already-
the process.
Yes. Yes.
Well, it has been incredibly fascinating learning how we go from grapes in the field to wine in a bottle.
Correct.
I really appreciate the time you've spent
Yes.
with us, and I'm sure others would like to know a little bit more. What's the best way for people to find out about Cartersville Country Winery?
We have a Facebook page, of course. We have a website, Cartersville Country Winery. They're welcome just to check us out. Come out here and look, ask questions, whatever they would like to do.
A fascinating story about something that is certified South Carolina grown.